testing streaming capabilities. I've done this before. I don't like the lag, but we'll go ahead and go through this anyway. So the main thing I wanted to talk about tonight was that I had actually ordered stealth safety levers and slide release. Pretty sure I can't tell how this looks in the camera. So it's one-sided, of course, but I ordered this all the way from Italy. It's a store in Italy, because I got tired of waiting for Beretta USA to actually stock the part. So I ordered this before I actually bought the Beretta, because I knew that it would take a long time for that part to get to me, and I knew there was a long wait. So I ordered it, and waited a month and a half, 2 months. Didn't get anything. I didn't get any notice. So what I did was I looked on their website and I saw that that part was not in stock. So there was the option to kind of be notified via email when the part came back in stock. So I opted for that, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I ordered a gun. I get the gun, and I'm still waiting. So what I did was, while I was waiting, I decided to go ahead and see if there was any other places that had the part. So Brownells doesn't have this particular part. They have, I believe, the regular levers, which are these, which I took off of the gun. And I'm trying to think of what else. I checked a couple other places. They didn't have the stealth parts. So I wanted the stealth parts because I'm actually carrying the gun. They stick way the fuck out there, and the gun is already kind of wide as it is. So I wanted the gun to be more stealthy. I learned to rack the slide without gouging my hand. I typically rack this way. The gun is clear. There's nothing in the mag. And I never got bit. Now if I do it this way, my thumb would get caught here. So it's better for me to do it this way. But anyways, let me decock this. I finally found a place. It was in Italy. The part was actually quite a bit cheaper than Beretta USA. The only thing is I had to pay shipping. With shipping all the way from Italy, it almost equaled out to the same price. So I went ahead and bought this. So it between let's see, I ordered it at the beginning of April. It is now April 26th. This came here today. So 26 days. And during that 26 days, once you know, Beretta sends me an email notification stating that they had the part in stock. But I had already ordered this, so I decided to let it bypass, and sure enough, less than a day later, they ran out of stock again, and they haven't been stocked since. So I have my Type G stealth levers. I have a stealth slide lever. What I need to do now is I didn't put this on the gun because it's one-sided. I didn't want a hole, I guess, on the side of the gun. Brownells has like a little hole cover, so I'll order that before I actually install the slide lever. But the slide levers aren't as bad as the safety levers were. I mean, they still stick out. No, I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm trying to wait for the preview to catch up. See, it's not that bad. So I'll be keeping this part in case I want to go back. I'm gonna give these levers a chance, but I'm telling you that there's a stark difference between the two. Yes, it makes the gun less thick. Yes, it's easier to rack the slide, but when it's time to decock this thing, it's a little bit difficult. Now, it's difficult enough to be annoying. I'm not sure. At least it's not biting me. Yeah. So it's gonna take a while to get used to these. I've heard of people actually taking these to machinists and actually getting these ground down to where it becomes, the ground down part actually becomes a happy medium between the stealth levers and the stock gouging levers. So there's that. So how was it in getting this part in? I'm not gonna lie, it was a pain in the ass. I'm glad I had the correct punches. The punch that I needed was 1/16, and I had one. I have two punch kits. Um, so I'm glad I had that. The hardest part about the whole thing was getting the roll pin out of this lever right here, this one. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bitch. Partly because I hadn't done this before. Partly because I wanted to make sure I didn't mess up. I didn't want to damage the gun. And what happened was I had a hard time getting it out. And I followed instruction from Mr. Guns and Gear. Thank you. I'm gonna give props to him because he actually said if you go from under the gun, turn the slide upside down, and tap it out that way, it's a whole lot easier. And it was. And I did the same thing going back. Now, I had a difficult time putting the gun back together as well. No, I didn't. It was easy, but the levers were acting kind of funny, and I think it was because there's a spring in here that fits on this one, and I didn't have it in right. And so if you watch the lever here, if I pull it down, it springs back up. It wasn't doing that. It was just kind of limp. So I was like, is the spring broken? Did I put it in there right? And so I had to take it out. I had to take it apart again, which meant I had to take the roll pin out again. That second time go around, messing with the roll pin was a whole lot easier because I knew exactly what to do. I knew exactly how hard I needed to hit it to get it out. I knew how to angle the punch. So it came out easily, and I did have the spring set in there wrong. I don't think it was engaged properly. Once I took it out and reset it, I tested it before I actually put the punch back in, and it was springing up and down just like this. So once I had that, I did not let go of the levers. I didn't want the spring to come back out, so I kept pressure on that. But I got the pin back in, and voila, I'm done. It did take me that whole process, even the part where I had to take the spring back out and then reinstall it. That whole process, the 2 times that I did it, was maybe an hour, and that was just me. I mean, this is my Friday, and I'm just taking my time. I'm drinking, a bit of wine while I'm doing it, and it was relaxing in a way. I was getting a little bit frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. So if you're not really handy, or you know for a fact that you're gonna have issues with putting this part in, don't do it. Don't do it. Um, if you're handy, if you're good with your hands, if you like tinkering, this might be something for you. I would advise to look at Mr. Guns and Gears how-to on how to do it before you do it, so that you know what you're getting into. If it's over your head, then just get the part and find a gunsmith and let them do it, or even a friend who might have a Beretta and has done that before, or even a friend who might not have a Beretta but who has messed with punches and roll pins. I mean, if you're interested in that type of stuff, why not do it to your gun? The worst you can do is you can mess up the roll pin, and you just go to Beretta's website and you get another pin, right? Not a huge deal. So I'm off the next 3 days. I have not been carrying this, to be honest. I have been carrying my Versa, and that's because during work, it's easy for me to get in and out of the car and put this in my vehicle case, lock it up because I do work on federal property, um, and then when I get off of work, take it out of the box, put it in the holster, and quickly put it back on my belt. I can't do that with the Beretta because it's so big. Um, Even with these new levers, it's a pain in the ass because this gun is probably an inch and a quarter thick. That's how much, I bought my pants so that I could carry. So I have an extra inch of play, maybe a little bit more. And with any other gun, it's not all that difficult for me to kind of carry in waistband. With this one, it's thick enough to where it's challenging for me to kind of put my holster on and take it off. So I've gone from wanting to carry this to rethinking things. So I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship here. I love the gun. I love the way it fires. I'm accurate as hell with it. It's a beautiful gun. Um, I like everything about the gun except its thickness. It is thick. I'm not gonna lie. And I've actually, before I even bought the gun, before I even had plans on carrying it, my first thought was, is it going to be too thick? Because I've heard of other people saying the same thing. So just a forewarning out there. If you love the gun, if you've rented it, if you've handled it, and you want to carry it, just be aware it's on the thicker side of things, and it might challenge you in the way you carry unless you're going outside the waistband, right? Uh, that's a whole lot easier. But I'm not going to open carry. I don't do that. Um, and it's that part of the year where I won't be able to get away with carrying outside the waistband and walking around with a jacket. Um, it's warming up. It's the end of April. It's in May. Pools will be opening up soon. And in some places it's 90 degrees, in the United States. So yeah, you're not going to be able to carry like you do in the wintertime unless you live in Montana right now. It might be still cool there. I don't know. So anyways, we'll wind down with this. Um, I think in my last video I stated that I ordered 1,000 rounds of Tula. Not Tula, but Wolf. I also got a gun cabinet now. No, not a safe. There's a reason I don't have a safe. The bad thing about safes is uh, getting it in the house when you first buy it and when you move. This is my basement. There's no way in hell I'm bringing a 500-pound safe down the steps back there. Not gonna happen. Uh, so my compromise was a decent gun cabinet. Um, the house is all alarmed out. I have backup alarms, which are dogs. Um, and I mean, I'm in a neighborhood where crime rate is not bad. I live on a corner of a busy street, so it's going to be hard for someone to kind of be stealing uh, a gun cabinet without being, obvious that they're stealing something. So, um, again, as with a lot of this, the gun culture and the gun life, um, what I get out of it is what I see on the internet, but that's not to say that I'm gonna follow these unspoken rules, right? Um, yes, the best thing for me to do is to get a safe instead of getting a gun cabinet, but I just explained to you why I don't want a gun cabinet. Don't hate on me. Um, Eventually, once I get a place where the perfect place for me to the perfect next place for me would be a one-story uh, home where I wouldn't have to worry about taking a safe up and down the stairs without hurting myself or my wife or anyone else. So that's my compromise. As with anything, there is compromise. With life, there's compromise. Uh, with living the gun, the gun life, there's always compromises, right? This is no different. But anyways, I will be visiting the range tomorrow. I'm gonna take this to the range and a couple of other guns, maybe my 22 TCM, um, and bust some caps. All right.